Hello, welcome to Tinks Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional. It's my second posting of today, respect to recording time of 12:16 p.m. on the Eastern Time. Ethereum coin trade $4,051, up about 0.82% so far. On the overall crypto market, I would say the key coins are relatively flat at the moment, right? With Bitcoin down about 1.32%, hovering around the 47,900, which is technically the next consolidation zone, while Ethereum is hovering above the 4,000 mark, which is technically, as we have been talking about for a while, that 3,843 is technically the consolidation level that is substantive, but 4,000 is a monumental flat number, so we give that, kind of a benefit of the doubts that despite, on a technical front, that's not really a resistance level because of a flat number, psychologically, investors typically would look for that area to incur appetites at. So with respect to sell-off that we're seeing on the opposite side of the spectrum, on the equity side, despite the positive outcome, I guess on a short-term perspective, how would you say, more of an optimistic type of optics, and I guess non-confirmatory conclusion, if that's even a word. I think that's more of like oxymoron. That despite the layout and the strategic plan on the FOMC outcome, the tapering timeline, and the executions of shaving down from $120 billion of asset purchasing the mortgage-backed security on a monthly basis to $30 billion because of the progressive developments that we're seeing on the job numbers front. But today we have a relatively kind of a mixed bag in a macro perspective, right? Specifically driven by some of the metrics that we have, identified so far. And one is the slightly miss on the job numbers, as of December 11th. And with respect to the Omicron virus, seems like it's, is spreading quite, a little bit more, how would you say, pessimistic in comparisons to expectations. And some of the verbiage that I see across the media front is saying that Omicron is replicating faster than the Delta variant via airway, which is one of the, I would say that's the majority form of the contamination passage. Obviously, that's the reason why people have to wear masks, cover your nose and mouth. And with respect to the lungs infections, which is, I guess, a byproduct of, the variants, it seems like it's appear less severe than medical officials were expecting before. So it's kind of like a mixed signal, but domestically, I would say in New York, the cases are definitely spiking. And with respect to just my personal experience, one of my senior advisor, she's a mother of two, and she sends her kids to private schools in the Upper East Side in New York. And she was expected to have lunch with me yesterday in person in the city. But because of the COVID cases, that seems like it's spiking a little bit. The school decided to, shut down basically, and mandatorily require the students to be, homeschool or going on classes on Zoom all over again. So she had to basically reschedule with me and do the meeting on Zoom instead tomorrow instead of being in person. I was really looking forward to catching up with her, but it is what it is. So with all of these affectations, obviously, it's not the most, not the most positive energy in terms of what we were looking for after the big hurdle that we jumped through after the main events, right, the blockbuster events, aka the movie of FOMC meeting yesterday. That we are having a little bit of a friction in the market today, right? So right now, let's just dive into the technicals and then we go to the news. With respect to recording time of 12:21 p.m. on the Eastern Time, just 21 minutes after noon time. Right now, we're hovering above the 4,000 mark, right? Consolidating at the level of flat number, which is Makes sense, right? We bounced off of the 3,843, which I know some of you guys actually bought the dip, and some of you guys even was so strategic that you guys were able to place, at a relatively non-substantive consolidation level of the 3,650, which is a level that's fair. But 3,450, 3,475 is more of a substantive level, and right now we're at the 46 out of 70, so still curving up. So I think, despite the negative sentiments that we have around the market because of the COVID news, is still something that's a big question mark, right? We'll wait until the interest rate spikes later next year, but Jerome did say that no spikes this year. That's still up in the air, pending for confirmation on the timing. Right now, it's just sustaining above a comfort level. Seems like mainly just being sustained by long-term investors, with some obviously short-term investors in play. So I feel comfortable with holding right now. I don't think there's any signs of a major reversal. I think the biggest hurdle was already happening yesterday and the day before. With the negative, consensus combined with the anticipatory pressure. Like typically that's sell the rumor, buy the news type of affectation, which is exactly why we had that rally yesterday, right? And I still foresee that we should have a Santa Claus rally, despite all of the negative sentiments. We still have half a month left. We're exactly at the mid mark right now. So 15 days can be a relatively interesting reversal, and we've seen how fast the financial market reversed, right? Ultimately, the whales and the fund managers, they know better, and these are the opportune times when you see everybody panicking, is when corporate investors or smart money starts to roll in. So Bitcoin right now down about 1% as well, hovering around like the 48, the 47, 900, like I said. We are covering up, so it seems like Bitcoin is quite interesting. We're seeing some golden cross forming with a 30 out of 70, so I think Bitcoin is actually going to be surging momentarily. So quite interesting. I think Bitcoin is actually a good buy right now, and I think it makes sense. We are at the perfect setup right now. Dogecoin down about close to 1.7%. At the moment right now, we're reversing back down because of the positive Elon Musk pump news. Again, hype related, mainly driven by retail investors, and subsequently reversed back down because, for obvious reasons, whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast, right? Cardano is down about 1.5% at the moment right now, trading between 134, 120, ping-ponging between 37 out of 70. So we are forming a golden cross slowly. So Cardano is actually a good buy still. Solana is up about 10%, surging up right now. We are about to form a golden cross. So if we form it, right, and I think we are at the 46 out of 70 at the moment on the RSI scale, this could technically translate into more momentum coming, right? Again, right, to the next level, to 200, which I don't see that's a major problem because that's the next resistance level. XRP is up about 4.24%, bouncing between 78 cents to 88 cents. I think right now is not a terrible level to incur some risk if you believe in long term. Polkadot up about 10% as well, reversing up right now, let's say 36 out of 70. So yeah, Polkadot is actually a good dip right now. I think the bottom was really formed. We were at the bottom, exactly why we're reversing right now. So not terrible in terms of incurring risk at the moment. Algorand's up about 7%. I think it's because the whole market is going up with respect to the altcoin, obviously, with the 40 out of 70 curving up right now. So the bottom was technically at 130, right? Right now it's reversing, and we still have some long way to go. That shows the lack of appetite among public investors. So, it's up to your tolerance, and do you believe in this long-term assets? It's up to you really. But I think in terms of a technical, purely on a setup perspective, I think it's okay. Shiba Inu is down about 1% right now, anywhere from 27, like 2,900 all the way to 900 is still the better opportune time for us to get in. Polkadot up about 0.6%, still surging up right now. We're about to form a golden cross. Relatively abnormal in terms of the chart right now, obviously because it's highly volatile, mainly driven by retail investors. So definitely be cautious about the surge that we're seeing right now. I think right now is at okay level, not the best, not the worst, but obviously 175 to 143 was still the dip that we were looking for to incur. AVAX up about 2.7% right now, surging to above $100, which was, if you look at 100, that was the monumental level. You could see how many times we consolidated and sell down, and that was the resistance level that got bought back up. So this is a good sign, I guess. We are at the golden cross level at the moment. Let's see how on the RSI scale right now with a 50. So not terrible, not the best, but I think, you know, if the golden cross is formed, but I don't think we're gonna search up all-time high all over again. I think possibly 120 would be likely. You could see that clearly on the equity side, on the left side of my corner. You could see that I shift my face a little bit because I realize I'm always covering everything. So we are, you know, I think these are just like pain that you will have to sustain. We have like this internal wound right now. We have this internal hemorrhage. And as surgeons or investors, hope my analogy makes sense. We have to slowly heal our internal wounds, right? It's not like you could apply an ointment that you could cover up or make yourself feel better. We have to, you know, sustain a better diet. We have to sustain a better internal homeostasis for us to get better over time. And that's what Jerome is doing. He's a circulatory system for our United States of a human body, if that makes any sense. So with respect to some of the news, let's just look into the news real quick. Some of the news are quite interesting. So first one's on CoinDesk about 2 hours ago. Talk about CoinSensus collaborates with MasterCard, which is obviously a credit card company, on new Ethereum scaling solution. So this is something that is in work. I know Visa is also doing something comparable as well. So seems like some financial institutions are actually taking a huge interest on Ethereum, specifically on scaling the platform and its value proposition. And the next one's on Fortune Magazine about 2 hours ago. How Robinhood will let you gift crypto for holidays. Interesting. Also, I looked at the Coinbase app earlier today. It seems like they have made some tweaks onto their user platform, which allows you to like use more of a defined button. It looks more like a dashboard now than like a chart graph. So if you take a read, it's quite interesting. But it seems like Robinhood allows you to send over to your friends and family via using obviously that platform for crypto. For me, I still cannot trade any crypto on Robinhood because I don't know, for some reason in New York, I'm like on a wait list for like about 2 years now. It seems like they're still like waiting to like get my, you know, approve my application or something like that. I don't know what's going on. And then that's pretty much it on the news front. We have already talked about the ones that we talked about earlier today. So with respect to the risk management level, these are the levels I've identified overall for all the crypto assets here. I will take a deeper read. I think I might do like a, I would say a bi-weekly refresh on the chart levels because it's important that we keep, you know, within the frame of reference that is the most up to date. But that all takes a lot of time, you know, triangulate the technical numbers, the consolidation areas, what makes sense the most based on volume, etc., etc. So these are levels that are distilled and broken down into the most simply and easily digestible manner. So feel free to use this as a reference, right? Let me know if you have any questions again, right? I think there are obviously still some pending factors up in the air that is hard for us to triangulate. But ultimately, we are, you know, we're not wizards. We are in the business of risk mitigation, and these are levels that are, you know, instrumental to our success going forward, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Really appreciate you for dropping by again, and stay subscribed. Take care. Bye.